everybody. I hope you are all staying safe and keeping well. I wanted to put up this little stretching video because I, like probably many other people, have been doing a lot more exercise at home. Probably more strength and high intensity stuff than I would normally have been doing. I always do a little bit, but definitely I'm doing it more often. Me and the boys have been doing the Joe Wicks Body Coach P for Kids every morning at 9 o'clock, and it's been brilliant. But the boys just laugh at me when they see me kind of creaking and groaning a little bit throughout the rest of the day. And what I probably have neglected is a little bit of that kind of stretching and recovery work. So thankfully, because I've been coming in and kind of doing the Pilates class and things online, that's definitely getting my body working in different kind of ways, which helps. But what I thought I'd just do a little video is of a kind of a stretching routine, kind of toe to head, to just kind of loosen out and help the muscles kind of relax a little bit after doing some of that kind of high intensity or resistance type exercises. What I wanted to focus on a little bit first is just a very simple breathing technique, and because I really believe that to get the best out of kind of a stretching session, it's not about kind of pulling the muscles and making them longer, alright? It's about trying to maybe allow the muscle fibers to relax a little bit, so that they will allow themselves to lengthen and give you the movement that you're looking for, okay? So I think breathing is really important during a stretching session, alright? So just maybe find a comfortable seated position for the moment. If you're not comfortable sitting on the floor, maybe you might want to sit up on something like a pillow or a cushion or even a stool. Alright, so what I'm looking for is that my ears are over my shoulders are over my hips, and my ribs at the front are kind of just sinking down a little bit. What I don't want is a super high chest where the ribs are kind of jutting forwards. Crown of my head is floating upwards, little effort as possible, my shoulder blades are melting downwards. And I'm trying to imagine or visualize my rib cage like an umbrella. And as I breathe in, that umbrella is opening up. And as I breathe out, that umbrella is closing down. And not just focusing on the front of the ribs, but feeling the sides of the ribs and feeling the back of the ribs as well. So just take a breath or two where you really focus on opening and closing that umbrella. If possible, breathing in and out through the nose, because that really promotes that kind of rest and digest and recovery type response that you're looking for in the body. But if for some reason you're congested, then just breathing through the mouth is fine. Okay, so when you feel you've got that idea of the umbrella and definitely a little bit more awareness to the back and sides of the ribs, take that now right down and around your waist. Keeping in mind your tummy muscles wrap all the way around your waist and into your lower back. Okay, so again, the breath is not just going to the front of the belly, I want it into the waist and even into the lower back a little bit as well. And we're already starting to get a little bit of stretch and relaxation into those deeper tummy muscles. Think of your diaphragm, think of your tummy muscles. And then taking it right down into the pelvis and picturing your bony pelvis like a bowl, okay? And as you breathe in, that bowl is expanding, and as you breathe out, it's shrinking, okay? So we're really focusing to get the rhythm of your breathing in harmony with all those deeper trunk postural muscles. They should be moving with each breath anyway, and we can sometimes kind of lose that a little bit with a lot of core training. So try to really tap into a natural rhythm of movement with your breath, okay? And try to keep that throughout the session that we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to start down at the feet and work up. So I'm going to get into a standing position here. I've got a slightly softer spongy mat, so you might want a cushion nearby if you, like me, feel a little bit uncomfortable with my knee resting on a hard surface, okay, when we come down back onto the floor. So alright, so I'm going to step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. I'm just going to use my hands on my hips. What can be really, really useful here though is something like a wall, so that you don't need to worry about balance at all. Because when your body has to balance you, it has to work a little bit harder, and so it's not going to relax and stretch quite as much. Okay, so 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You're going to rise up onto this back heel, and then you're going to slowly sink it down towards the floor. So it's a slow, easy movement. Knee is staying straight, hips are staying facing forwards, lifting up onto your heel, and then sinking the heel down to the floor. We're going to take 3 more like that. And notice I'm just slowing down the breath. Actually, I'm blowing out here a little bit after me saying to breathe in and out through the nose. So just focus on whatever breathing feels good for you. As I said, ideally breathing in and out through the nose. Just after doing a Pilates class, and go back to that Pilates breathing. Okay, keeping the heel down this time, and then bending your knee. Heel stays on the floor, hips still stay facing forwards, and straightening the knee. So you're going to feel this stretch much lower down into the back of your heel, into the Achilles tendon as well. So sinking back, straightening up. Nothing too fast, nothing too jerky. Okay, and we're going to sink that knee down a little bit. So we're not looking for the strongest sensation you can find. We're looking for a gentle sensation here. And then I want you to very gently start to nudge your hips side to side. Okay, so if I turn to face you, okay, in that stretch, hips are gently going side to side. Okay, and what this is really good for is stretching the muscle fibers and the tendon fibers to the side of your Achilles tendon and calf muscles, not just the ones that go straight down the middle. Okay, so we're going to do about 3 more of these to either side, keeping that heel resting on the floor. As I said, a wall or a chair here is really useful. Okay, coming back to the center here, we're still keeping that heel on the ground. We're now going to take the hips and we're going to rotate them a little bit. And you're just going to let the hip and the knee and the foot kind of roll with you, as long as it's comfortable. As I said, we're looking for a very mild sensation here. We want those muscle fibers and tendon fibers, all that soft tissue to just relax. Alright, so we're not pushing any of this. Keep that nice, deep, even breath. Think of your umbrella. Okay, we're going to take 1 more to either side. Okay, and then coming back to the center. And we're going to run through all of that onto the other leg. So stepping the opposite leg back, you're starting on the tiptoes and then easing the heel down towards the floor. I'm not really too worried about what the front leg is doing. It's there to help keep your balance, so we can bend and straighten. The focus is on that back leg. So keeping that back knee nice and straight, you're going to feel the stretch in and around the back of the knee into the upper calf muscles. Okay, we're going to keep that heel down and then gently start to bend and straighten it. Okay, bend and straighten the knee, sorry. Your heel is down, you're going to feel the stretch much lower, maybe a little bit into the back of the ankle, heel, Achilles, lower calf. Nice, even breaths. Okay, and then the next time you bend that knee, keep it there and gently start to draw your hips from side to side. Perfect. Okay, find the center and then we're gently rotating your hips from side to side. And it's important here that you're not rigidly holding the knee and the ankle, alright? We want them to roll with it in a non-painful way. That ankle rolls in, the knee rolls in, the ankle rolls out, the knee rolls out. It doesn't look very pretty, it should feel really comfortable. Okay, perfect. Okay, so from there, I want you to come down onto one knee, and this is where the spongy mat comes in. I'm just going to grab a block here for a little bit of balance. As I said, you don't want balance to be an issue, because if you feel like you're going to fall over, your muscles are all going to be holding tense. Okay, so the back knee is bent, you're resting on it, you're going to think about tucking your tailbone. So what I don't want is for the back to go into a big arch here. You're going to ease forwards, stretching into the front of that kneeling hip, and then easing back. So very gently, not going to as strong a sensation as possible, just easing forwards and easing back. Keeping the tailbone tucked so that it's not the lower back we're working into, it's the front of your hip. What you can do here, which is really nice, is take your front foot out a little bit to the side, and you'll start to feel a little bit more of the stretch to the inside of this hip as well, which is oftentimes where people can get a little bit caught up. Okay, and I'm going to turn to face you again, because I want you to be able to see this, okay? So back knee is bent. You can use your arm here, you can add to it. So the top arm can reach as the hip comes forwards and come down as the hip comes back. And you're just bringing in more of that sling of muscles that goes right down the front of your trunk, right down across the hip and down the leg. Okay, so reaching that top arm up and holding it there. You can keep your hand on your hip here, absolutely. And then your hip is going to draw to one side, the hand is reaching the opposite side. And then you're going to take that to the other side. Okay, so just getting that little bit of side-to-side movement, the exact same as when we talked about at the ankle. We're now getting the muscle fibers either side of the hip flexor, rather than just the muscle fibers that go straight down the center. Okay, coming back to the center, taking the top hand forwards, rotating and rotating. And just allow the whole trunk and the knee to go with you. So we're getting if you think about the hip joint, we're getting the hip rotating in the socket. We're getting the fluid in that hip joint moving here, which is really good, as well as all the muscle fibers and the ligaments and the tendons that cross over it. Okay, coming back, we're going to take all of that over to the opposite side. So just swap the knees around. And if you wanted to turn the other way around, if you were using a wall or a piece of furniture, that's perfect too. Tailbone is tucking, so if I turn to the side for this one, tailbone is tucking slightly, stretching the hip forwards and back. Okay, and then you can do a few there if you want to do a few with that other leg out to the side a little bit. You'll feel a bit more sensation to the inside of the hip. And then you can start to reach the hand up towards the ceiling and back down. And we're thinking of that sling of muscles that runs right down the front. Okay, and then keeping the hand lifted or hand on your hip, and then stretching the hand to one direction as the hip goes the other direction, and swapping over. And I just love these ones. I can never stretch into my side enough, I think. Okay. Perfect. Okay, coming back up, taking the hand out to the front, and now rotating. So let the hip roll with it. I don't want anything to be rigid here. We want to just release, lengthen, soften, melt a little bit. Keeping the breath nice and deep. Thinking of your umbrella. Tummy muscles should be able to move here. If you're having to work on your balance too much, that's going to be a little bit trickier. Okay, coming back to the center and taking it down. All right, I'm going to turn the camera to the side here a little bit so you can see this a little bit easier. Okay, so coming back onto two knees now. All right, hands forward, knees bent. So in this position here, I'm just going to come to the side so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to step one leg out to the side as far as I can, still keeping my spine long. So we're not coming into a rounded position here. You want to release that tailbone that's pointing backwards. Okay, so try to see if you can get the little toe edge of your foot onto the floor. So you're getting a little bit of a lift into the arch and a little bit of a stretch to that outer ankle, which can feel great. And then what you're looking to do is imagine strong magnets drawing your sit bones back. You're going to feel that stretch all the way up the inside of that leg. Breathing out, you're coming forwards. So if I show you that to the side, breath in, you're drawing the hips back, and breath out, coming forwards. Now again, this is not painful. We're not pushing into a very strong sensation here. To get even more benefit, if you think about these deep muscles in around the hip and the pelvis, as you breathe in, think about sending your sit bones away from each other. And as you breathe out, think of them shrinking back towards each other. Okay, you can also do that with the toes pointed up. It can feel quite different. You might not be able to go as far, or it can feel easier. Breathing in and out. Good. One more. Perfect. Okay, taking that leg back in. We're going to take the same to the opposite side. So opposite leg is reaching out. Try to keep the hips level. Draw the hips back and forwards. Remember, we're trying to get that stretch to the outside of the ankle as well. So you're going to feel that maybe all the way up the outside of your shin. It's a really nice one. And as we're moving forwards and backwards, we're getting the muscle fibers to the front and the back of the shin, stretching out a little bit. And then let the toe lift and do the same. Good. Okay, taking both knees back down. Okay, so toes are pointing backwards. We're trying to take a bit of a stretch into the front of the shins here. So you're going to sink your hips back and see if you can just gently stretch the front of your ankle to the floor and then come forwards again. So we're stretching in here. Try not to let your toes turn in like that. You want to keep them parallel with each other. So focus on the base of that, or the top of that big toe, so that it doesn't cause your foot to roll out. and then coming back up. Okay, we're going to take that a little bit further. So we're focusing again on the back of your hips, thinking of the sit bones getting wider. This time you're going to keep going back, keeping the spine long. See how far back you can go. Think of those sit bones coming away from each other. Breathing out, you're coming forwards. 2 more like that. So sit bones getting wider as you stretch your hips back. And then just easing back towards each other as you come forwards. So somebody with maybe kind of deep hip tightness, when you find this is really difficult, to focus on your breath, to focus on sending those sit bones away from each other can be a really good cue to get a bit more movement into the hip joints. We're going to add a little bit of a side stretch here. So as the hips come back, you're going to slide your left hand in front of the right. You're going to get a bit more of a stretch up that left hand side. Breathing in, left hand comes back over the shoulder, taking that to the opposite side. Breath in, right in front of left, and breath out. And taking that to the opposite side, and out. Opposite side. Still focusing on that umbrella breath, focusing your breath down into the lower back, into the back of your hips. Think about tailbone lifting a little bit as you stretch back. Okay, taking that one more time. Good. And then coming forwards again. Okay, going to come into a little bit of a twist here. Right arm's going to reach up towards the ceiling. And then reaching under, seeing if you can get your head, your shoulder all the way to the floor. And then reaching back up. And breathing out. Keep coming back to my old Pilates breath here. As I said, breathing in and out through the nose is ideal. Perfect. And then we're going to take that to the opposite side. And then coming back up here. Alright, so from there, I'm going to get you to sit with the feet out in front, hands behind, okay, feet a little bit forward of your hips. We're going to take a little bit of a rotational movement into the hip joints. So using your arms for a bit of support, try not to sink down into the shoulders and just allow the 2 knees to roll to one side. Opposite hip can lift a little bit, but we're really looking to get the movement in the hips, and then take that to the other side. Okay, so you can take your hip or your trunk as high as you want here. If you've got lots of movement in the hips, the trunk can be high. If you're quite stiff, just take the hands back a little bit and just take them as far as you can go. Perfect. Okay, you're going to take the hips to one side, all right, and the knees can be kind of stacked, staggered, or you can take the foot all the way to your back knee. And then you're going to walk the 2 hands to the opposite side. So we're rotating the trunk away from your legs. And ease into this, okay? Because we don't want to overly twist the lower back here. So just take the hands as far or as close to the hips as you can. You can walk them a little bit further away, and that's not going to feel quite so twisty on your lower back. Take a breath in here, and as you breathe out, I just want you to think about nodding your head and easing into a little bit of a bend here. This back hip is staying nice and heavy, so you're not rolling that top hip forward. That back hip is heavy, and you're easing into a twisting stretch here. Think of this twist happening from your bottom thigh, wrapping around your trunk all the way up to the shoulder. So it's a twisting stretch here. And easing back up. We're going to do that 2 more times, slowly sinking and lowering. And then stepping back up. And lowering. Okay. Easing back up, walking the hands back in. You're going to come back around to the legs. You're going to take a few more wipers from either side, thinking like your windshield wipers. Swing my legs around. And then we're going to stack or stagger the legs to the opposite side, taking the top arm around so that you're turning yourself away from the legs. This top hip here is staying heavy, and that's going to be your anchor to get a nicer sensation into your lower back. Hands are coming around. Remember, ease into this, nothing forceful here. Just focus on your breathing and move as far as you're getting a very mild sensation. So breathing out, tuck the chin and ease into a twist. And for me, this side definitely feels tighter today. Breathing in, stacking back up. And back down. And last one. And then back up. Perfect. And from there, I'm just going to grab a folded blanket here just to support my head. Okay, because when you're lying on the floor, what you don't want is, if the back of your neck is very tight, for your chin to be pointing up towards the ceiling, all right? And that's going to cause that chest to lift up. It's going to make it really difficult to kind of relax into the stretch. So you can add a pillow, a folded blanket, a folded towel, whatever it is underneath your head, so that you feel it's really comfortable and easy to breathe. Okay, you're going to take your right foot over to the left thigh, and you can slide that left leg away a little bit if this hip is tight, or you can slide it in if you've got a little bit more movement. But the focus here is on keeping the weight in the hips, so both hips weighing down onto the floor. There shouldn't be any uncomfortable sensation in this knee, so do be mindful of that. If you're very tight in the hip, the knee can often try and compensate, which is not what we want. So stretching that knee out wide, and take a few deep breaths, focusing the breath into the back of that right hip. So we talked about that expanding and softening rhythm of your breath. Picture that in that right hip. And if it feels okay and you want to take it a little bit further, you can lift that left leg up, hands in behind your thigh, and keep it there for another couple of breaths. Just make sure that the shoulders don't really start to lift forward. It calls your chin to lift here. And then lowering that foot. Keep, especially for these ones, keep focusing on the depth of your breath. You need to imagine that that breath is going right down into the back of that hip, because those deeper hip muscles do move in harmony with your breath. So we're taking it to the other side, hips are heavy, knee out to the side, draw that breath deep. And then if you want, you can also lift that right leg. Keep the breath even, keep the hips heavy, keep the head and the shoulders rested. And then lowering the legs back down. Okay, so you can keep the feet hip distance apart here if you want, or for a slightly stronger stretch, you can take the knees and the hips together. So still be comfortable when I say stronger. You're going to take the arms, rest them out to the side, and let the knees roll to one side, letting your hip lift, so feeling a comfortable twist into the lower back, and then take the knees to the opposite side. So just focus on that nice even breath as the knees gently roll from side to side. Perfect. Okay, we're going to do one more to the opposite side. And then pick the knees back up. Okay, I'm just going to use my folded blanket here slightly differently. Okay, I'm going to open it out. I'm going to roll it so it's in a little bit of a tube shape. You could fold a pillow in half, a pillow from the bed in half. You could use a long foam roller if you had one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it along the length of my spine, making sure that my head is supported and all along the spine is supported. And what you can use, if you need to, is an extra pillow. This will probably be too high for you, but an extra pillow behind the head if you feel your chin is lifting up too much here. So we're just giving the spine that extra bit of lift, making sure you're not overextending into your lower back. We're going to focus on stretching out the arms. So reaching 2 arms to the ceiling, focus on a softness or a melting sensation into the ribs as you reach the arms overhead. And as you reach the arms overhead, make sure the chin doesn't lift and the shoulders don't shrug up. So we're just finding a weight into the arms. And just let them rest there for a few breaths. And if it's uncomfortable, if your ribs are shooting up, the hands don't need to touch the floor. They can hover here and just allow gravity to draw them down, but keep that melting or that sinking sensation into the lower ribs. Okay, and then we're just going to add a little circular movement here, taking the arms out wide. Maybe the fingertips are on the floor, maybe they're not, maybe the arms are on the floor, maybe they're not. Just circle it out, find that extra stretch across the front of the hips, especially if you're doing lots of plank, press up type exercises. Just you want to get that length and openness in the front of the chest. Okay, now we're going to try bending your elbows. So as you draw the hands down, your elbows are bending. You're doing that hands up kind of 90-90 position, and then reaching up. Always focusing on that breath, always focusing on the melting of those lower ribs. And one more. Perfect. Okay, and then reaching the arms back up and letting them rest down. Okay, so from there, I'm going to get you to move your blanket or your pillow out of the way, and I'm going to come right over onto my belly. Okay, so I want to take a little bit of a lengthening stretch up the front, and you can play around with your hand position here. Hands are to the outside of the shoulders, but they can be a little bit higher, they can be a little bit wider. My legs are heavy here, and I'm going to work on floating my upper trunk away from the floor. So shoulder blades melting down the back, lifting the head and shoulders up, and my chest is floating away from the floor. And what I'm focusing on here is a little bit of openness across the front of the hips, but lengthen the tummy muscles. Think from the pubic bone all the way up to the ribs. Those tummy muscles are now getting a little bit of a stretch. It shouldn't be sinking into the lower back. I'm lifting away from the floor. And you can lower and lift a few times, or you can hold that lift for a few breaths. But oftentimes the lower back can feel a little bit sensitive, so it can often be easier just to lift and lower back down. Okay, one more. That's it. And lowering back down. Perfect. Taking your hands in behind your head here and just stretching your elbows away from the floor. Just taking a little bit of a stretch across the front of the chest again here. And then lower the elbows down. You can take one hand, stretch it down the back here, and just feel that stretch at the back of the arm. The other hand can help here a little bit. You don't have to do this one lying on your belly. You can do this one sitting up. You shouldn't feel a sinking or an uncomfortable sensation into the lower ribs here. And then taking that to the opposite side. Okay. And then rolling over onto one side. Bending up both knees. You're going to lift the top leg just hip height and see if you can hold your foot. And then you're going to gently stretch that knee back as you ease your hip forward. You want to feel the stretch all down the front of that thigh. And you can allow that knee to drop a little bit. You're going to feel the stretch a little bit more to the outside of the knee, which is a common place to feel quite tight and sore, especially if you've been doing maybe a lot of running or cycling or any kind of jumping. This can feel quite sensitive in the back of the kneecap, okay? But ease into it, don't force into anything that's painful because the muscles won't relax. But it can be quite useful if you do get kneecap pain to stretch this muscle out a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to roll over and take that to the opposite side. Okay, so same thing, knee about hip height and stretch it back. Perfect. And then releasing that, coming back over onto your back. So knees are bent here. If you need to add a pillow or like a folded blanket or something under the head, you can. Just very gently allow the head to roll from side to side. So just loosening out any tension or tiredness you might be feeling in and around the neck. Okay, and coming back. And if you want, you can close your eyes here now. What I want to focus on is just coming back to that breathing again and using this breathing technique to really just let go of any leftover tension you might be feeling. So as you breathe in, again in and out through the nose if possible, focus your breath anywhere where you might be feeling a little bit of tension. So for example, if it's in the right shoulder, focus on breathing into that shoulder, imagine it filling up like a balloon. And as you breathe out, just imagine that that balloon deflating and everything around the shoulder just softening a little bit. And you can take that focus to anywhere in your body. Just take a few deep breaths and scan all the way up, focusing on anywhere that you're feeling a little bit of tension. Everything should be starting to feel really heavy on the floor here, the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the ribs, the backs of the arms, hips, feet. Just letting my knees rest together here so it really doesn't feel like I have to work at all. Work on allowing the breath out in a little bit of a sigh, okay? And when you sigh out, your body really starts to switch into that rested kind of state, okay? And that's really what we're looking for, this repair and rest state. So breathing in through the nose and let that sigh out. And make the breath out even last a bit longer than the breath in if you can, with the least amount of effort. And you can take as many of these as you want. I'm going to do one more. Okay, so hopefully you find this useful, just as a little bit of a guided stretching session that can really complement your kind of recovery if all of a sudden you're doing a lot more kind of intense or resistance exercise than you might normally have done. Is that okay? Any questions, any feedback? I'd much appreciate it. If you think I missed out on anything, any feedback would be great, okay? Stay safe and chat soon.